Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, Wendy Sellers here, the HR lady. We are here today talking about change. Oh, there's no change going on in the U.S. right now, especially in human resources and leadership. We want to focus on leadership change, though, and leading change with confidence. So before I jump in and introduce our amazing guest, I want to welcome back to our show my co-host, JC. Hey, JC.
Oh, Wendy, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure not only to hear you, but see you. The listeners that are tuning in don't get the pleasure of seeing you as I do over this conference call. So truly, truly a pleasure. And you talk about change. Wendy, I do have a pocket full of it. It was payday, so I do have a few cents left.
Just a few cents left. I barely have a few cents left. I need a very long nap, like a 1 week nap. But anyways, with that said, I love the topic of leading change with confidence. And we are here today with insights from Sayer Darling, who is an expert at this topic. And she is, her role is vital in coaching and consulting. So welcome to the show, Sayer. How you doing?
I'm great, Wendy. How are you?
I am doing, okay. I'm going to probably have wine after this show. I'm not going to lie. But hey, thanks for your time today. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are now.
Yes. My career started in communications, just about every facet of communications inside of an organization. And I found that the further I moved ahead in my career, the further away I got from really helping people adjust to change, to be able to improve their leadership and their conversation. And so I have all of that experience behind me, and I have created a new recipe, a secret sauce, if you will. I just don't believe you manage change anymore. You have to lead it or get out of the way.
I love that. JC has a stat on that, actually.
70% of organizational change initiatives fail, primarily due to employee resistance and lack of managerial support. Back to you.
Oh, I could definitely agree with that, especially on the managerial support side, which is what I focus on. Sayer, what are your thoughts on that? 70% fail. That's huge.
Yes, that statistic came from McKinsey in 2015. And I can't imagine we've improved on it. But the fact is, we still do it in most organizations all the time. The typical change management processes are used. So, it wouldn't take much to make some improvements.
Change is just inevitable in life. It seems like there's, many years we go by and it's kind of like the same old, but I haven't seen that in quite some time. I would say even pre-pandemic, right? But definitely post-pandemic, it seems like change is just going at a speed that I'm struggling to keep up with, and I'm sure our listeners are too. Let's talk about how it's the leader's ability, or it should be the leader's ability in their job, to guide people, managers, employees, even customers through change that makes a difference. How can you help our listeners understand that?
Well, first of all, Wendy, change is now the highway that business travels on, not only to beat the competition, but to advance their business. So change isn't some project over here. It's not something that's going on in addition to the strategic initiatives. It's really the center of everyone's attention to how do we move the business forward. So in terms of leading change versus managing it, I think there's a difference between change management and leadership, and that is change management is focused on a set of processes that can keep a complicated system of people and technology running smoothly. The planning, the budgeting, the organizing, the staffing, controlling, and problem solving around change. Okay. Change leadership, however, is a set of processes that helps an organization to adapt to significantly changing circumstances. And we certainly have that today. So leadership defines what the future should look like, align the people with that vision, inspire them to make them happen, and then help them by moving the obstacles out of their way.
I love that. I love that you explained the difference between them, because I don't even know, it drives me crazy just listening to the news or whatever it is, a podcast, another podcast, a book, or just somebody talking. And it drives me nuts when people name all managers in an organization leaders, because that's not necessarily the truth, right?
So true. Yes. Leadership to one is management to another.
Yeah, and some of them actually have some things called, toxicity and toxic positivity. And for those folks that are listening, remember that we are on HR Empowerment, which is run by Aurora Training Advantage, and they have amazing training programs and webinars. In fact, I'm one of the webinar presenters, and coming up, they are actually presenting a webinar called Navigating Toxic Positivity. So I myself am going to tune into that, because I think we all need a little bit of a reminder of that, of toxic negativity and toxic positivity, because it could go on both sides. With that said, thanks everybody for joining us. Coming up next in episode 2 of this series on leading change with confidence, we are going to discuss coaching leaders, true leaders, coaching leaders through transition. So we'll see you soon.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.